Welcome to Cool Cars, Interesting People. Today we're going to talk to Tania Stilson, entrepreneur by the time she was in high school, and she hasn't stopped since, running A-Win Insurance right now. We'll talk to her, what inspires her, and what she's got planned for her future. In the meantime, we're over here at Lethbridge Subaru. Jared Ford, come on in here. The most popular vehicle we've got from Subaru right now, the 2017 Outback. Tell us about it.
Correct. So this here is a 2017 Subaru Outback. This one's a limited package with eyesight technology, so it's the safest vehicle we make. As well, it's the most fuel-efficient SUV that you can get in this size.
When you say eyesight technology, it means it's literally has eyes?
Yeah, you can close your eyes and drive this guy.
No, but really?
Really. So it's got two cameras in the front there.
Okay.
It has forward collision braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and lane departure warning with
This
that.
is one of those vehicles that's tough enough to go out camping and put a lot of stuff in the back and have a good time doing that.
Oh yeah, you can take this thing anywhere. Full-time all-wheel drive, 8.7 inches of ground clearance. You can get this anywhere you want to go.
And how many people can you get in there, jammed in there for a concert you're going to in the park?
Well, legally you can get 5 people in it.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Anything else you can tell us about it that you like people to know?
No, these guys are a great deal right now. They're the hottest car that we have on our lot right now. We've got a few of them in stock. They're just an awesome car. Come and drive one and try it out.
All right, we're going to go drive one now. Tania Stilson coming up. All right. Tania!
Hello!
Trailer trash! But really, what's going on here?
So we are in the process of moving into this beautiful new building, which we are super excited about.
Actually, that looks way better than this thing right now.
Yes, and we have 2 of these because that's how we have to live right now.
Yeah, sorry, how's that going for you?
It's good. We've
Yeah.
been in here since March. We were in there before. There was lots of desks and everything else. We had tons of space there, so we said we'd live there, and then we moved out here in March.
And this is the old Sunlight building, right?
This is the old Sunlight building.
Nice. So it's going to be gorgeous when it's done.
Oh.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The information that we're seeing and the pictures and the decor is just going to be one of a kind in Lethbridge.
You know, I've got that little sign that says, "The road to success is always under construction."
That's the world we live in.
Come in here,
All right.
into the Subaru.
That's nice.
It's a nice 2017 Subaru.
I don't do accents.
I'm sorry, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't really do accents either, but I do them. I try them just
Excellent.
the same. Come on, let's go for a cuppa. Woohoo!
Nice.
Safety. Here we go.
Safety first.
Yes, safety is sexy. Okay. All right. Off we go. So the A-Win Insurance. Tell me about A-Win Insurance. I know. I mean, we're getting right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, we can jump in.
Yeah. What got you into that business? Because but you're a business developer, aren't you?
I am. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19.
Yeah.
So yeah. So A-Win Insurance was there's a group of people in town that were really looking to bring a new type of insurance to the marketplace.
Right.
New as in just the concept of how people do business, really.
Okay.
And they always say it's an old boy's business, and I always say there's a new girl in town. So
And you're it.
that's right.
Yeah.
So we opened it'll be 3 years ago in August, and it was just a concept at that time, and we knew we needed people, and we knew we needed product, and we knew we needed process.
So what makes you different from anybody else?
For me, it's obviously our people. They're just a great group of people, and we do a lot of extra things for our client service.
Right.
We always phone our clients and do annual reviews and 6 months reviews the first year.
Yep.
So what we found in the marketplace is a lot of people aren't up to date on their insurance. I feel like we're...
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm learning this. Yeah.
Yeah, you drive a lot of new cars. So they're not up to date on their insurance. A lot of times they're either overinsured or they're underinsured, which you don't want to be either
I hate
of
being
those.
overinsured.
I hate, and being underinsured is never good if you have to make a claim. So
Yeah.
So it was the people, and then A-Win itself it's called a network, more like a franchise. So we have over 40 different insurance companies that we have access to. So if you shopped at, say, what they call a direct writer or an agency like an AMA or a Cooperators, or they only have one type of product. So if your premiums go up with them,
Right.
Nothing they can do about it, right?
Right.
Their home product is their home product. So, so we wanted to be able to bring into the marketplace a lot of different insurance companies, and we have about 40 different that we can move people around through.
So when you're thinking of, I want to be an entrepreneur in something, and the word insurance comes up, what makes you say yes? I mean, because for me, I just go no. But I mean, you have to look at it with wide open eyes, I would imagine.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I've been involved in many businesses over the year. I was involved in travel for a lot of time.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. So I did that for almost 14 years, and you know, insurance is a really interesting product to me, which I didn't think it was going to be. I was like, oh God. Boring, right?
Yeah.
Is kind of what I thought.
That would be my first thought too.
Yeah, most people do.
But
right?
then you have to realize that everybody needs insurance, right?
That's right.
And how to present it is important.
How to present it, and you know, the glorious thing as a past salesperson, everybody has to have it by law.
Right.
So you have to have auto insurance. Most people will have their home insurance.
Yep.
Any commercial building has all sorts of different types of insurance.
Yep.
Board of directors, directors and officers. So there's lots of different product that you can play within.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really interesting part. You know, I was in travel when the dollar goes, when 9/11 happened, all sorts of things happen in the travel industry. You don't have that steadiness.
Right.
Where in insurance, you know, it's almost recession proof, right? I mean, even if there's a downturn in, say, like Fort McMurray because of the oil, you know, guys would park their trucks and they may not have them going the whole time. But overall, people will always buy their insurance because they have to, whether it's a downturn in the market or not.
Right.
And it's just a great business model. Over all the years, right? It's a residual business model, which means most of those clients stay year after year after year.
Right.
And so for me as a business person, all those components make it really exciting for me.
What's the best part of it for you, would you say, in this business? I mean, I guess, like you say, people, but what just really makes you excited to get up in the day about what you're doing?
You know, I'm at an interesting time in my life, right? I've been being an entrepreneur for a lot of years and building business. And for me, it's offering the opportunity to build a business within our business, because our brokers come in, they have a very different structure than any other insurance company in town. Right. So they are really young entrepreneurs that get to come in under my sort of mentorship, and we get to help them grow and develop, and watch them make some mistakes and help them through other ones, and that to me is the greatest gift I've been given, is to be able to really help this team. Most of them are in their early 30s. Right. So to have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, but still with the security of having, a lot of support and structure and mentorship and those types of things around them without the risk. Yeah.
How do you like being in Lethbridge? What's your, because where are you originally, are you born and raised in Lethbridge?
I was born and raised, I was born in Calgary, moved here when I was 6.
Right.
My parents immigrated from England, so, they made the conscious choice to raise their daughters in Canada. So I'm very proud first generation Canadian.
Right.
That's always been important to me, and I love Lethbridge. I think we live in one of the sweet spots in the world. I really do. Yeah.
And what about your parents, when they look back on their decision to do what they did? Did they ever say, should have gone to the U.S.?
Oh my gosh, no. No. It's funny because I think my dad wanted to go to Australia, and my mom wanted.
Australia?
Yeah, right. We're in the Outback.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I don't know if this car is insured. I don't know if I should take this chance.
It's never good when you have your insurance broker in the car with you and you're in an accident.
Can you just check the glove compartment for a second?
Are you sure you're okay? Yeah, they're pretty good company, Subaru.
No, we're good.
It's got some pickup, eh?
It does. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This is the Subaru is the one that has the commercial with the dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, they're cute commercials with the dog. One dog has it's a sheepdog. It breaks its leg. And so it can't, because that's what they do. Right. And it's driving him nuts that he can't go out and herd sheep. Okay. So he gets in the Subaru and then he barks from the window.
I'm not doing that, but yes.
So it's kind of a cute commercial,
Yeah,
eh?
that is
Yeah,
a
no
cute
worries.
commercial. Yeah. So yeah, Dad wanted Australia.
Australia, oh yeah, back to that.
Yeah, and Mom wanted South Africa, I believe, and they ended up coming. Well, my dad tells the story as he saw the picture of the Banff Springs Hotel.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, and he said, "That's where we're going." And so they, you know,
one day, my daughter will be rich enough to afford to stay there one night.
It is a beautiful hotel.
It is a beautiful hotel. I love the bit of. Oh. Yeah, and depending on the day you get there, it can be kind of expensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From what I've understood.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's an experience.
It's
right.
yes.
It's not. Yeah,
You being in the travel industry, how do you sell something like the Banff Springs that, I don't know, is it like 5? I remember my brother-in-law came up from California, American, dollar was doing really well for him.
Yeah.
And he looked at staying at the Banff Springs and he said, $600? Are you kidding me? To stay one night in the Banff Springs? But how do you sell that?
It's an experience.
That's what
it's
it
a
is?
once in a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
You're here. You're not staying
Yeah.
downtown. You're gonna stay in this beautiful, historic, legendary hotel, and you stay for 1 or 2 nights, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
I do just love I'd rather just walk around and just experience that. I don't think I'd want to spend all that money for that. That's just me though. Sorry, is that wrong?
Yeah, I don't sell travel anymore, so yeah, you're good. You're good. If it's a need for some people.
No,
for
it is.
sure.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, and if you had all of the money in the world, what kind of a vacation would it be? Would it be staying at hotels, first class hotels,
interesting.
or would it be camping? Or would it be at really nice camping places? Or what would be your ultimate?
I'd love to go back. I went to Italy in 2000 with my eldest sister, and I'd love to go back with my husband and really do cooking and stay in Tuscany and all the old monasteries, or I like that combination of history as well.
Sure.
And I'm a bit more, I always think there's travelers and there's tourists.
Yep.
Tourists kind of go to the same places all the time. I'd rather be a traveler and kind of get out and just really immerse myself in the culture.
It'd be nice. Just get a nice place. Rent George Clooney's house. On
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be open to that.
Yeah.
You're rich.
Yeah, right.
Let's go have something over here at Coulee Brew.
Okay.
All right, we're here at Coulee Brew. This is what I'm
Excellent.
told as a goat dance beer that they make right in the back there.
They do.
So cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming here.
Thank you.
See if it tastes good. It's a warm day and there's nothing like a beer. Are you a beer girl? You are a beer girl.
I'm a beer girl.
Yeah,
I like my beer.
Did you have Lethbridge beer when you were young?
No. I'm gonna go with no.
Were you, what kind of a, let's go back.
Uh-oh.
You had your first business at 19 years
At
old,
19,
right?
yeah.
So, okay, how does a 19-year-old decide I'm going to get into business? What did you do there? And tell us about the business.
Sure, it was just a little nail salon. I wasn't a girly girl, but I ended
Yeah.
up going with my sister to get her nails. She was getting her nails done, and the lady put one of those fake nails on me and said, "You could have a business doing this." And I said, I could.
Yeah.
So I did.
I mean, it's no insurance business, but yes, I'll do this. Yeah.
It was a good start, though.
So you
for
got.
sure.
So did you invest in it, and you
Oh, yeah,
took out a loan?
yeah, it was a startup company, and
Yeah.
I self-funded, and I sold it about
You
4.
self-funded. How does one self-fund?
Well,
there was
it was cheap, right?
Okay.
It's a pretty cheap business to start,
Okay.
so it taught me a lot about how to build a business. I only had it for 4 months, and then I sold it.
Yeah, but you made a profit.
I made a profit.
Yeah. Is the business still going? Do you know?
No,
it's,
no. I did sell it though, and
Yeah.
then she continued it for some time. It was over in the old Park Meadow Mall.
Right.
Yeah.
So from that, did that say, okay, this is what I want to do? I want to be an entrepreneur. Is that what you got into, or what got
No,
you?
that took me a little bit. Like I was pretty eclectic at college. I actually took broadcast production.
Wow.
Yeah,
how about
there
that?
you go. I thought you might like that.
Broadcast production.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then I learned about those radio guys and got out of that business.
Good move.
Yeah, it was a good move.
Yeah.
But my first business was really my second business, I guess, was Uniglobe Travel,
Yeah.
and I did that when I was Yeah, I think I was 26 when I started that.
So all of these different, like you're just picking from the left field, right field, and into, you're diverse at least.
I'm diverse,
Yeah.
right? Like I like
So-
business. It's
yeah.
not about the commodity of what that business is. To me, I like being in business. This is the best combination. A-Win Insurance is certainly the best combination of a great business model and my interest in it. Travel was a lot of fun, just a really poor business model, right?
What was poor about the business model well, I guess there's lots of different reasons. Like when you were at Uniglobe, I mean, because you were at the forefront. I mean, from my point of view, like if you were thinking about who do we call in the travel business, like if we're doing a story or something, Tania, Uniglobe, what's going on, Tania.
Sure.
And you were prevalent on radio, and you made sure that you were there, so that was part of it, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I understood the value of marketing and touching in, right?
Yeah.
But in that business model, for instance, when we signed our franchise agreement, I was in business with 2 other people. On that day was a day what they called commission caps came in, and so the airlines used to pay you 10% of every ticket, and they capped that and went to $50, which was a significant change, and then $25. And I remember the day that they went to zero. So 80% of our business was airline travel, and they paid us $0.
Oh my gosh.
That's a bad business model.
That's not good.
No.
What was their
But I was having fun.
Yeah.
Right?
What's their justification for the airlines to do that? Just because
Well, they started the online environment
Right, okay,
as well,
which-
right? And so even though travel agencies have always and to this day are still their largest provider, their largest client, it was their business model, right? They were the mindset of why pay Uniglobe if they didn't have to, and if all the airlines did it, which they did on the same day.
Wow, all of the airlines.
Yeah.
So
it's just it was back in the day with faxes, and so the first fax came through, and then the second, and then the third, and that's a bad day. I've had some bad days. I've had many great days, but I've had some bad
I want to,
days.
if you don't mind, just to talk about, because that was a big part of your life, the travel. I mean, and it just seemed that one thing after another was hitting you in the travel business. If it was BSE, that killed you. Well, not
BSE.
killed you, but it was a horrible thing to have happen.
BSE was hard. 9/11 was hard.
9/11,
the U.S. dollar was down. Right. So lots of even strange, circumstances that happened. So terrorism, or some woman getting killed in Mexico. All of that had an effect in travel.
Sure.
Which is why I'm glad to be out of it.
Yeah. I mean, what was the one thing that you said? Okay, I'm out of here. That's it.
I think it was the year I was turning 40. I was a partner in Lethbridge. I was in Calgary and Camera. We were doing a huge high volume. I've been doing it for 14 years. Love the radio station group that we did every year. But at that point, I wanted a change. And I'm not afraid of change, right? I'm one of those people that go, I don't know at the edge of the table if it's going to be 3 inches or 3 feet or 30 feet. But I'm willing to step off to find out because I think, I don't know, I just think I'll survive. And so far, it's worked.
Yeah. But and no regrets, of course, of
No, it was a great time in my life. I learned a good lot, and I had great mentors. And, I think you carry all of that, whatever business opportunity or whatever experience you've had. For me, it's always about all of those have been stepping stones to where I ended up to today. So.
How important are mentors to keep you going? I mean, who are some of the people that really got you going to where you're at?
I mean, I had a lot of really great people in the business world. My dad was a great business mentor for me. He was a businessman in the community and a financial planner. So, originally he was one of my mentors. And then once I got into Uniglobe, there's lots of people who took me under the wing, right? And so, to this day now, I'm still in contact with some of them. And now I get that opportunity. It's a strange place in your world where you suddenly get to mentor others rather than be the mentee, right? So I'm kind of both right now. And, I'm sure later on in my years, I'll just be a mentor. But
So what is it that you like to give to someone you're mentoring? Give me 2 really important things, especially if you're a young girl, 20 years old. Just graduated high school or college, maybe 25, university, and they're just saying, I need something. What are you telling them?
I think a lot of people lack confidence, right? And you can't gain confidence without experience, and you can't gain experience without confidence. So it's that combination that's often really hard for people.
Right.
And I think people just need a cheerleader sometimes, and to say, I love people who are real and authentic, right? So let's be real and authentic. Let's not pretend everything's rosy, because we're going to have some bad days in business, and we're going to have some great days. But let's, Yeah, I love people who can be real with me, and then I can be real back. I'm not one to sugarcoat things. If things are going wrong, I expect you to be accountable, but I'm there cheerleading you as well. So
what would you say are some of the traits of a leader? Not just mentoring, but being the leader of say, for A-Win, for example.
Right.
You're kind of you're the go-to person. The buck,
The
70
buck stops here.
70 cents stops here.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? So what are some of the things you need to have? Because I know if I was ever a boss, I hate being yelled at. And if I've got someone who's really angry, I mean, you have to deal with that. But what are some of the important things about being the boss?
That's interesting, because I've been in that role for so long. I don't know what it's like not to be. Right?
You don't know that you're actually a bitch.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure people send me nice messages.
I'm just saying. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding about it.
I think being authentic is really
I think
important.
that is too.
Right? It's I do view our group as a family.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that say, "Oh, leave your stuff at the door," because I don't think that's realistic in this day and age.
Yeah.
I don't think it's real. If you're having a bad day and something's going on at home, you're going to bring that into the company. So let's help you through that, so we can get back to the job at task.
I just through my own experiences and being the guy that wasn't the boss, but just
Sure.
having people, I totally appreciated total honesty.
Right.
I hated it when people came in and did not give the whole truth.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking about the business I was in. There was a
Sure.
lot of downsizing and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that you never knew, and you just hated it when people say you're okay for now, but in reality, there's no way we were okay. So
Right.
you want them to be absolutely honest and say this is what's going to go on, so you can get on with your life.
I also don't believe in change for change's sake.
Right.
Right? Like if things need to change, I have no problem making them change. But I think people become uncomfortable when it's like, oh, let's do it this way, let's do it this way, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
So I don't like to change for change's sake, and I'm very collaborative, right? We're working on the new building right now. I'll bring in one of my people to be able to, have a second opinion, give people the opportunity to have that role. And I want other people. I've never thought I was the smartest person in the room.
Right.
But I'll always hire really good people and surround myself with really good people.
Partnership is so vital, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I've been in business partnerships with all sorts of people. So, yeah.
And people that you ultimately need to trust, right?
Oh, it's a strange thing, right? Because you become very involved in each other's lives and dependent on the success of the overall company.
Yeah.
With hardly knowing that person at all.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage without all the dating and good stuff.
And the alimony.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Child support.
I didn't have to
Weekends. So anyway.
Yes.
I'm fine. Everything is
Good,
fine.
good.
How about giving back to the community? I mean, because I know you're a member of the Rotary Club. And
I am.
and that's kind of, that's part and parcel. I think no matter if you're in the sporting world,
Sure.
and you look at Tyler Wong.
Oh, great guy. Isn't he a great guy?
It's all you just. So much respect for the guy who performs on the ice, but then says, you know what, I'm going to go to the Children's Hospital, I'm going to go to the Therapeutic Riding Association, and I'm going to just help out kids. And he doesn't necessarily want all of the acclaim, he just does it.
Yes.
And I think that's sort of important in the business world as well.
It is for me. I mean, I think my parents instilled in us some really strong values of giving back to the community, which, started it all. Mm-hmm. I joined Rotary, which I always say is one of my top 3 best decisions I ever made in life. Yeah, for sure. And then, I give back in a number of different ways. I've sat on a number of different boards. I'm involved right now with a different organization, Aware.
Tell me about Aware.
So
that's a
Aware,
very, very cool organization.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, some people think so. So Aware is a group of, the acronym is Alberta Addicts Who Educate and Advocate Responsibility. So this is a group of addicts, sometimes current, sometimes they're cleaner than the week before, but not always. And they go out into the community. A lot of these guys live on the street, and they go out and hand out harm reduction materials.
Yeah.
So even though they have nothing to give, they still find a way to give.
It's amazing.
It's amazing to me, right? So all the way through my life, I've always felt that was a really important component for me, right? Mm-hmm. I know it's not for everybody, but I think in our society we need so little but we actually think we need a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And everything above just your basic needs is abundance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you have a home and you have a job, like you're way better than most people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So everything above that level is abundance, and I think there comes a responsibility when you live in this country and you've achieved at a certain level. And I just think it's, to me, it's not even a question. It's just what you're
Yeah.
required to do for where you live.
Now, why aware? I mean, because you're not an addict, or were you?
No,
or are you?
I
Or,
have,
you know, that's
don't
just so that's
tell
no.
them. They think, yeah.
So Tanya was a real
Exactly.
drunk and a real addict. She did
No.
coke in the back of this. Oh, it was horrible.
No,
But
I'm,
is it
I'm
just,
actually one of the only people I know who never did pot.
Oh,
right?
really?
So yeah,
Well, listen,
like
come over here.
we'll
Tanya.
survey
No.
the room. I don't know around here, right? But for me, they spoke. You know, there was one of the fellows from Aware and one of the women from Arches. So Arches sort of the governing body, and then Aware is the independent guys. And they spoke at Rotary.
Right.
And they asked me to, you know, happened to be sitting next to the guy, and he said, "You can come to a meeting if you want. We actually need some help fundraising."
Right.
So I thought, well, that's a good way I could give back. And so that was over a year ago, and I showed up,
Yeah.
and they had this list of funny rules. Like they read this list of 10 rules right off the top, and
Funny rules?
well, funny rules like funny rules like we can't have physical contact.
Oh, I
no,
see what
no
you- yeah.
swearing, right?
Oh,
and I'm like,
yeah.
ooh.
Oh, you're out. You're screwed.
yeah, I thought that too, but they keep letting me in. And so for me, that group, I keep going back because they have so much compassion when really they could have this sad story about themselves,
Right.
And they don't. They still get out there and they still do their things and they still help others who have even less
Yeah.
than them.
It's amazing.
So it's an amazing group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is going on, since we're on Rotary, what else is going on with Rotary?
Rotary, we got Lobster Fest coming up, so that's
Yeah.
a big thing. So that helps generate some dollars.
Yeah.
So for every dollar in our club, because every Rotary club is different, 50 cents stays within the community for us, and 50 cents goes international to international projects. The big thing for us is it's our centennial year next year.
Nice.
So Lethbridge Rotary was started in 1905. Like if you think about that, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And in
1905.
Lethbridge, it started in 1918.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So so we'll.
That's when Clint Dunford first joined.
I was gonna say there's a lot of founding members still in that group, but there's some good boys in there.
And of
so.
course, you know, the whole polio thing is amazing, what Rotary has done.
Absolutely.
Pretty much eradicated polio.
Yeah,
with,
less than 1%, they
yeah.
say now, right?
That-
So with the Bill Gates Foundation, they were
Yeah.
a huge contributor, and the WHO, and yeah, it's less than 1%. But if we don't get that 1%, so imagine, right, having to immunize every child,
Yeah.
right, every baby.
Every baby.
Every
You like
baby.
you like
That's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot of them out
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
So it's a struggle, and we have to get it done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will,
Yeah.
40 years ago from now, it will be like it was 40 years ago.
Speaking of
So-
Bill Gates, though, would you ever like to meet him?
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
What would you like to find out from him? What would you? Because he gives. How much does he give of his? I mean, obviously he's a billionaire, a million times over.
Sure.
But he gives away so much of it too, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, he's
So
very
what do you
philanthropic.
think? What would you like to learn from him?
Well, I like the partnership between him and Melinda, right? I think they've done a really good job of, being a strong couple where it's not just about Bill, it's about Melinda as well and what
Yeah.
she's given back. So, his dad was involved in Rotary, so I just kind of like to know.
Oh, is that? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Is that why the Rotary and the polio
I
thing?
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that piece.
Okay.
But I think he'd be. I think there's lots of interesting people out there that I'd like to meet, and I think there's tons of interesting people here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tell me, name. Okay, here's your guest list.
Oh.
Okay, a guest list of 5 people you'd like to have over for dinner, living or dead, that you'd like to have, just to shoot the poop. Yeah. Who are the some people
I'm
that
not good at this game, right?
like musicians? Would it
Yeah.
be? Are you all the entrepreneur people, or are they politicians?
Probably top politicians. I'm not political.
No,
That's
not at
never
all.
been my thing, right?
Right.
I do love music, so
Yeah.
I'd love to have some musicians in the room.
Okay, lay me your top, one of your best ones. Elton John.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm gonna
Elton
name
John would
mine.
be interesting. I'm not that person. I'm an eclectic girl, so
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like I I find everyone, like for me, I really do find people interesting. It doesn't matter if it's who you are or what your title is. I think everybody has an interesting story.
Absolutely.
Then for me, it's just like, you can put me in a room of 5 people out there and I'd be happy to talk to them. So
I know that, I mean, I've had the opportunity of interviewing a lot of fairly famous people, which is, I love doing that. But it is true that a lot of times the people that have the most compelling stories are not famous at all, but they just have, their life story is unbelievable.
Sure. I was at the Southern Alberta Women in Business Conference last week, and we had 3 great speakers, Cheryl Dick, Kimberly Lyle, and Marcy Stickle, who all stood up and told their very interesting stories, right? Very different stories. It's fascinating. And because they're real and they're authentic and they're genuine, that's, everybody has a story.
How are we doing in our society? You can get specific to Lethbridge if you want, but generally, as far as women in business, how are you treated? Are you respected? Are you getting? Is there a lot more room that needs to, make you more respected in the business?
I can say this: when I started in business, I did business like a man, as a woman doing business, but I would. That's why I think Rotary was so good for me. I grew up with just 3 sisters. We didn't have any brothers. We didn't have any male cousins around. We had nothing. And so I learned how men treat each other, which is interesting.
So you pat everybody on the ass all the time.
Yeah, you make crude jokes. Right? But
Here, pull my finger.
See? But I do think I conducted myself as a woman, but in a man's world. It really did feel like that. And I was young, I was, in a male dominated. I remember going to Uniglobe conference with my husband, and they always thought it was him that ran the business, right? That was real for me. I'm not easily offended by stuff like that, but I think that's what happened. I would say in the last 4 or 5 years that I feel very comfortable conducting business like a woman would, right? I can be, whether it sounds sexist or not, but I can be softer and I can be compassionate, and we can be emotional at work. And where I never allowed myself to do that early on, that just wasn't. It just wasn't what you did.
It's actually unfortunate that you had to do that.
Well, it was just
that's the
reality,
way it was.
right? I mean, women couldn't get business loans back then, right? Like these are the realities. So I think we've come a long way for sure. I definitely think there's still room to grow, and I think that's one of the reasons I love, being part of the A-Win Insurance Group is that I can offer the same opportunity to both a male insurance broker or a female insurance broker that want to come into the business, and it's exactly the same opportunity. It is equality, right? So
it still amazes me that it's not that long ago that the Canadian government had to sign a law that said a woman is a person.
Well, in Rotary, women weren't allowed in Rotary until 1988, which was the year I happened to graduate.
Wow,
and it had to,
really?
Yeah, 1988, right? Like 30 years ago. And it went to the U.S. Supreme Court. So, it's interesting to live through these years. And I give great kudos to the women who walked before me, because they really, they paved a path. And hopefully I'm doing the same for those who are still coming, because it'd be nice if we were equal in regards to dollars and that type of thing, right? If there's still I read a statistic and we're still at 70%, right? So it's not right. So we'll get there.
Well, let's get back to your A-Win.
Sure.
Where do you see the insurance business going? Are there new innovations that you're seeing that a lot of people are doing, or where do you see what's happening with you guys?
Sure. I think for our group specifically, we're building a really strong team here. Like I said, we've been 3 years. We're just cresting over 15 people on the team. We've got the great new space that's going to be opening sort of mid to late summer. So we'll really build that out. We have a location now in Pitcher Butte. We have a location in Blairmore. There's lots of Southern Alberta areas that I think we can penetrate into fairly quickly. A-Win Insurance itself, the network is Western Canada wide. So we would certainly look into opportunities into other locations outside of just Lethbridge. We want this to be our flagship. We want to get this up and running. So I could see us definitely going Western Canada wide, and beyond that, I'm not sure, right? It's, insurance is quite different in BC and Saskatchewan because the government has the auto component of that to a certain degree. But that doesn't mean that the other provinces aren't opportunities lying there too.
Can someone who lives in BC call you and say, I need some insurance?
As long as we have somebody in-house who is BC licensed. So we have BC license right now, we have a Saskatchewan license right now, we have Alberta. So we can service all three of those areas. Yeah.
How much of a learning curve was it for you to get into the insurance side of things? Like, I mean, you don't necessarily sell insurance, you're the boss. You're the one who says this is how we do it. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, with my get back at it. Like I say, for me, it's always business is business. Travel and insurance were very similar, right? In travel, there's no inventory, right? You take all of these different airline companies or all of these different tour operators or cruise lines, and you kind of pare it down into what best fits the client. There's what we would call a vacation side to travel, and there's also a commercial side, so the business travel. General insurance is very similar, right? You have lots of different products that you're just trying to pare down to people to make it the best for them. We represent the client as we did in travel. And we have a commercial line, so buildings like this and commercial people who run lots of companies, as well as that personal line, so your auto, your home, your car, your boat. So for me, that's what I mean. Like, business is business for me. This is a much better business model, and the way I can help entrepreneurs grow within that model is much different. But the learning curve in regards to the business model wasn't much. Has there been a learning curve in regard to what is general insurance, right? What does directors and officers insurance cover? And that's why our team is so good, because we all lean on one another to be able to ask questions, and we have the network, right, of the other locations. And insurance companies are great. Lots of insurance companies have been in business for 3 generations, right? So if you phone an Intact, you phone an Economical Insurance, they are more than happy to help you through that. Great. So I'm good at learning new things. I don't mind that, and I like new adventures. But this is I'm the happiest I've ever been in business, for sure.
Really? Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kate, final thoughts. A-Win Insurance. Tania, what is it? Tell us your final words as we finish our goat dance.
Yes, and then we might dance. I don't. Is that how it goes?
I don't know. Oh, that's it.
Okay,
I think
that was my
sprinkler,
but I don't know. You can work on that.
My goat sprinkler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think bottom line, A-Win Insurance represents a change in insurance, right? We're changing the marketplace. We're changing how we do business. We really take our customers into consideration, and we want them to not be overinsured or underinsured. To me, as long as we're competitively priced, that's okay, but I never want to drop on service. So I know lots of people say that, but I'm telling you, now that we're into our 3rd year and we're phoning people every year to say, have things changed? Have you added a deck to your back porch or something, right? What have you changed within your insurance? I didn't feel like that was happening in the marketplace. So I think we're ready for change, right? It goes back to the quote, right? What's our quote again?
Greatness is always under career.
Growth is always under construction, right? Yeah. So I do. What's our quote again?
You're right.
But it does go back to that, right? Like, we're innovative, and I think that's something that hasn't happened either. So
And so if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that? Online?
Come see us at the trailer.
Come to the trailer.
We're happy to host.
We
do have 2 offices in there for our clients, but you can see us online at A-Win Insurance.She in Alberta. You can phone us at 403-394-1123.
Good.
Come see us at the new building, or seriously, come see us at the
Let's
trailers.
do the goat dance.
Yes, exactly. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.